Yo-way-ha, yo-way-ha.
Well, the reality is
on a daily basis, we see Indian attorneys making a difference. They would have all fit in one small room 25 years ago. And now when you have a major meeting of Indian lawyers, you need a hotel ballroom. And in fact, we do gather periodically for very large meetings that are just whole roomfuls of Indian lawyers, each of whom are doing something interesting, exciting, and important to the Indian community. There's no limit to the contributions that lawyers can make. Homicide is the second leading cause of death among Indians from 1 to 14 years of age. The second leading cause of death is homicide. Right now we have a very serious problem with rising crime on the reservations, and it's ironic that while crime is falling throughout the country, it is actually on the rise in Indian country. Of even more concern is the fact that juvenile crime and alcohol and drug-related crime is on the increase in Indian country. So we'll be discussing that before the Senate Indian Affairs Committee tomorrow in hopes of getting that committee to support our efforts. One thing lawyers come to understand is how policy, law, statutes evolve over time. And so we know that today's defeat is not permanent. And we know that there's a process to work through and really create some of the changes that we want. What a lawyer knows how to do is to solve problems. Good lawyers solve problems. And what we do here in the Bureau of Indian Affairs is try to reconcile competing interests that the tribes have, that the Congress has, that the administration has, and try to find a way to make all of those sort of merge and work together. And that ability to break down issues into their component parts, identify any conflicts, and then reconcile those conflicts, that's the most critical ability you can have. I would not have that if I weren't a lawyer, if I hadn't gone to law school. Even though we now have a couple of thousand of Indian lawyers, which is a couple of thousand more than we had 30 years ago, there's still an unmet need in Indian country for legal representation for people just to get some of the basic things that we all take for granted: education, housing, a decent job, a decent living, a safe environment, enough police on the streets. Those are things that lawyers can and have had an impact on. So there's no limiting, really, what you can get involved in as a lawyer.
So whether or not you end up in a law office reading books or in court arguing a motion or on the board of a corporation or as the chair or president of an Indian tribe, the things that Native people have learned from the law school experience have changed their lives and the lives of their people.